Good evening, everybody. I'm Spiros. Nice to meet you. Welcome to our webinar. I'm very, very happy to be here with all of you today. And I would like to thank you all for being with us also. It's a great honor, and I will try to transfer you as many of our staff as possible today and keep you in the top interest for the whole time of the webinar. First of all, I would like to introduce my good friend and colleague, Milos Miladinov, that he will do
Hello, guys. Hello.
our co-presenter today, and he will talk about a full digital workflow using not only our system, but also other additional tools that they will skyrocket your performance, and they will help you to make everything easier, faster, more predictable, and of course, also to make sure that you will have no mistakes, no repeats, and most important, the patient will be always happy in the end. So I give the wheel to my friend Milos, and he will talk about what he's doing, his training center, and everything. Milos, the wheel on you.
Thank you very much for your introduction. I know we also got a lot of questions just before we started this live session. So maybe you want to tell which are these questions, so then I can focus on my lecture. Spiros?
Yes, you can drop your slide if you want.
Okay. Well, I was saying about the questions. If you can say which are the questions we got from the people before we started.
Yes. Okay, we'll start with that. So we received many questions from you, and we will try to just start answering one by one. First of all, people asked us, what is the full digital workflow? What is the difference? Because we hear that every day, but what is special today that we were going to talk about?
Okay, so I will go with the next one.
And also, if it can be useful in how it can be useful in post-COVID-19 area, because now we are crossing this period, and also we would like to know how this can be useful after this period that we are crossing.
Okay, I got this covered too. In my lecture, it's covered.
Okay. What a dentist need for a full digital workflow, apart from the intraoral scanner, also?
Everything covered.
Okay. What is a full digital workflow indication, and which kind of cases we can do with that? Is it something that is limited, or is it something that give us no limits and we can go further?
No limits with this workflow.
Okay. And what is the ideal full digital workflow setup and strategy in the dental office? How a dental office should be set up in such way that will be able to take the most of this digital workflow?
Okay, I have some ideas about this too. Definitely.
And also, if the digital dentistry generally can help you get back in a faster way into business after this period that we are crossing now, and many people just stay a little behind because of this situation. And also, another important question is what a dental lab needs for the digital workflow, apart from the dentist,
Okay.
dental lab that they want to jump. So all these questions, we receive them in advance, and I hope Milos will be able to cover everything today in every single detail.
Definitely, yes, and I hope I will answer all your questions only with my lecture. I will just start with a short introduction from my training center. So this is where we do our courses. Yeah, we are also doing hands-on courses for dentists.
Just a second, Milos, maybe you should share your screen better. Maybe share your screen so they can see better in a bigger way.
Yes, they can. I think it's like this.
Yeah, and let me increase your side. Now they can see. Okay.
Yeah, and this is a training center actually where we do live courses. This is where we did the last course with Jan Kurz Hoffmann from Germany. We had a live patient. It was really an amazing experience for everyone. We had people coming from all over the world. We had people from the States coming, from Australia. We had from Hong Kong. We had from, I don't know, you can name all the possible areas. So I want to show you my next floor, actually, which is the digital lab, where I started 2 years ago with this workflow. And I promise I will make it very interesting for you guys. So this is one of the first full digital labs In Europe, 2 years ago, we stopped taking analog impressions. And this is my playground where I do all my photos and videos and my little hobbies. So this was a short introduction. I'm a dental technician. I started to work as a dental technician back in 2001. So it's almost 20 years. That's why my hair starts to get gray right now. And now that we know each other a little bit better, I will start with my presentation and to show you what I prepared for you guys today. I will start sharing the screen. Share entire screen. Perfect. And Spiros, tell me, everybody can hear me now?
I think yes. Yes. Everybody hear can hear Milos? Is it everybody?
And you can also see the presentation, yes?
Yes. And also, whoever has questions, please be free and write your questions on Q&A anytime you want, so we can answer them in the end. Okay.
We have about 3 hours, so it's more than enough to go through entire lecture step by step and then also answer all possible questions.
Okay,
so I will start.
Let's begin.
Yeah.
Let's put on full screen.
Yeah, I'm full screen now. So this is a short introduction about what made me came all this way, what is my background, not only as a dental technician, but also as a dental photographer. So I will show you a short video. And this is also one of my newest releases, not only the photo gallery, but also the book, which became pretty famous 4 or 5 years ago when I launched my first dental photography book. And now we have the new one, which is simply amazing. Everybody gives me crazy good feedback about it. So I'm highly recommending you to go for this. And some tips and tricks about dental photography, just to see what you need if you want to start doing dental photography in the offices after you will start doing your full digital workflow and you want to make amazing pictures with your cases. The pictures that I will show you today are done all in my training center or in my courses for my patients. So basically everything is documented to create this beautiful presentation. I have to say that I didn't steal any pictures in this presentation. They are all mine and I made them. So I hope you will enjoy the presentation. So first of all, full digital workflow and COVID, how this can help us. And I will just go a little bit through it, but later you will understand actually how it works. So first of all, let's say intraoral scanner, face scanner, and chairside printer can help you go to the next level. First of all, it's because you can replace the classic photo documentation. You can document all your cases with a Medit intraoral scanner and with a face scanner. Basically, why I'm saying this, because you don't have to put your hands on the camera anymore. Maybe you can put your camera in a bag or something, but still there is a risk of cross-contamination. So basically, if you touch that camera that you touched also before with the patient before, it's not that easy to clean the camera, or cannot sterilize or deep clean that. So it's impossible. But with intraoral scanners and face scanner, it's very easy to clean them. So basically, this will help you in the future. Also, replacing analog workflows with digital ones will keep you far away from your laboratory. So basically, there is no physical contact between you and the dental technician. So dental technician will stay safe and he can provide you everything you need, printed models, printed try-ins, or final restoration, even if you are on one corner of the world and he's on the other corner. Like I work with Ryan from Hong Kong, some cases, and he's in Hong Kong, I'm in Romania in Timișoara, or I have my dentist from Switzerland or from Germany and so on. So basically this kind of workflow will keep you healthy and safe and of course predictable, but we are going to get there. And also the way how you are sending the cases from the lab to your dentist is also a big thing, and you have to make sure that everything goes clean, sterilized, and safe. So these are just few of the things that we are going to discuss today, and it's a part of the slow dentistry movement. Yeah, my dear friend Miguel Stanley, he's behind this slow dentistry movement, and full digital workflow is just a small part of how we can become better dentists. So I will show you a short video. So this is more or less how digital workflow course looks like in our headquarters. We are usually having live patients during these courses, and also a lot of knowledge shared and fun, of course. But let's start with the basics in full digital workflow. First of all, we need toys to play. Yes, we need equipment, we need tools, because without that, we cannot go digital. So first of all, for dentists, I highly recommend to have an intraoral scanner, to have a face scanner, and of course, for full mouth rehabs or implant-based restorations, you will definitely need CBCT. So these are the three main things that every dentist should have for beginning when they want to start with full digital workflow: intraoral scanner, face scanner. Then, if you want to go a little bit more far away and you want to be more autonomous, you want to be more have more freedom, let's say, you are highly recommend to use chairside printers and chairside milling machines. Like we have here in our dental office, we have the chairside printer Asiga, and we have the chairside mill Program Mill PM1 from Ivoclar. And then different accessories like augmented reality glasses, which can help you when you're scanning, and you will scan faster. Jaw tracking systems like the one around the market right now, chairside CAD software, T-scans, and so on. So basically, this will make a complete, let's say, list of equipment that every dentist should have if they want to have everything. Then communication tools, because if you have these tools, doesn't mean that you will be magic. You need to communicate with your team. And between dentist and technician, you definitely need to use some of those elements. Basically, there is Team Viewer, which is okay, and everybody's using it most of the time. Photo protocols, Shoot Like a Pro techniques that I'm teaching since 2013. Then SmileCloud designing app, which is amazing. It's made by my friend Florin Kofar. And if you didn't heard about it, I definitely recommend you to go on smilecloud.com and check it out. It's cloud-based, and it will absolutely amaze you. I will show a few things about it today. Also, from my friend Ralph Jorg from Miami, he's our Romanian colleague that lives over there in the States, and he's developing the DSD app together with Christian Coachman, and they created a very good job to communicate better between the team, dentist and technician, and also to involve the patient in the planning protocol. One of my favorites is definitely exocad WebView, and you will see a little bit later why, because it's super simple to use, and you can actually send the project to the dentist and he will see it right away what's all about. But we are going to go step by step through everything today. Now, from the point of laboratory, definitely we have to have a top high-end printer, which I use in my lab is the SheraPrint P30, which I love, and I use it for more than a year and a half. Then the program milling machines, or I don't know, there are many different on the market that are really high definition. And of course, a very good and stable CAD designing software. I'm using exocad. I was a user of 3Shape, but it had a lot of bugs and problems before, so I quit completely and I switched to exocad. I heard now 3Shape is back again in good shape, let's say. But let's start with the beginning. So I was saying the equipment every dentist or every dental technician need. So we start with the dentist first, and we talk about Medit i500. It's the one that changed my life. I work with trios from 3Shape since beginning, and I had very good results, but the market needed something more than that. The market needed something that is fast and precise, without annual fees, which I love that, and free updates. So with every single update that I had on this scanner, it looked like I have another scanner every time. It looked like it's amazing, more amazing and more amazing, and so on. So it offered us also color scans, PLI format. You know, STL, it's a standard in digital dentistry, but PLI took over 1 year ago when Medit started using it more than 1 year ago. And PLI gives me the colorful scans and gives me the high definition scans, so I can see every tiny details. Also, the scanning tips are much cheaper than competition, and of course, user-friendly. My son scanned toys with and objects and different things, so he was amazed how easy it is to scan. Imagine. Of course, we don't want to talk about the price. Price is super important. It's not big. It's half of the competition most of the time, and every dentist can afford it now. The reason why I love PLI format, you can see in the picture on the right side, where you see the size of the triangles, the size of the meshes. It's basically much more fine detailed, yeah? And that's what drove me to this conclusion that I need to use PLI format for all my cases. Let's go through some of the features of the Medit i500, and this is the one I like maybe the most. That the dentist, when he's removing, let's say, an old crown, not here, not this case, but when removing an old crown and it was already prepped in the feather edge preps, you don't see really the margins over there because there are almost no margins if it's feather prep. So basically the dentist can mark the margins using the mouse on the screen, and he will transfer this data directly to your lab technician. And then he will know exactly where to finish the crown. There will not be any argue about this. They will not go blind anymore. So they will just know exactly where you want your crown to be finished. This is one of the nicest features. Also, direct abutment identification system. So if you are into implant dentistry and you're doing implants, this software will really help you to transfer the data to the lab, and they will know exactly which implant you used and which components they need. Also, this was the biggest breakthrough in history of intraoral scanning. It is about the digital verification jig for on 4 or on 6. Arben from the States, he's an expert, total expert in this, and he's the one that worked a lot to develop this thing. And I tell you that it works amazing. We tried to use this for a case, and also analog verification jig to check if the impression is accurate. And we did also with digital verification jig, and digital verification jig told us that it's 100% accurate. We double checked with analog one, and when we did the provisional and the final restoration, everything fit in place in less than a few minutes. So everything was absolutely amazing about this. Also, you can check the quality of your impression before sending it to the lab with reliability map. And this is something so cool that I use every single time. If you have green color, it means that everything is very, very precise. Also, the full arch distortion was improved. Yeah, so when we have full arches, and I did a lot of full mouth rehabs and veneers, crowns, and bridges, and so on, and implants even, I didn't have any trouble using it. So it was really extremely precise. Lately, they introduced, after the latest update, also the partial face scan. So basically, if you don't own a face scanner, you can still have some major references when designing your future case. So basically, you send this information to your lab technician, and he will know exactly how to fix the midline, make sure that it's straight, that you don't have any canted restorations, and so on. And that's
Milos, just a second. Are you sharing the screen, or you go from the slide right now?
Because I'm going from the slide.
Oh, just a second to check something. Because I think that you share the screen. And now, okay, can you switch now to a slide again?
This because is the now slide.
Wait.
And this is the full screen.
Check again on the slides in the upper left corner. It says slides, because now we see only your face. So maybe you should. Okay. Yes.
So nobody saw slides till now?
No. No. Guys, did you see the slides until now?
Because I'm sharing the screen. I'm not sharing the slide.
No, the slide. Share the slide, not the screen. Because they will appear bigger.
Yeah, but if I share the screen, everything will go full screen, like this.
Yeah, there's no problem. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. So okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's proceed. Okay.
So everybody saw the slides till now? Let me know.
Yes. Everybody.
Perfect. Great. Then we have the option to document our cases, and this is something that I love a lot, because I told you I'm trying to avoid photos in the dental office, even if I'm teaching dental photography, and I do that a lot. But for daily documentation, for daily patients, believe me, it's much faster and much better. You will have a good quality of the intraoral situation, and more than that, you can have the 360 degrees 3D file that you can rotate, increase, decrease, and zoom in, zoom out, whatever you want you can do with these files, and you will have the full situation of the patient. So basically, I love this feature. Also, one of the features I like is that if you want to communicate a little bit better with your patient, you can print away. If you have a chairside printer, you can print it directly from the Medit software. You can print the model outside. And in 30-40 minutes with a Siga printer, you can show the model to the patient and talk about the plan, the treatment plan, and so on. And I really love this thing. You can add the base directly into the software. Also, what I like is about the ortho options that you have with Medit Scanner. Basically, you can work with different partners of Medit and get your clear aligners. So this is fantastic because the precision, it's amazing from this scanner, and the quality of the clear aligners, it's everywhere the same. So basically, no matter which company will be, you will get your aligners in a good quality. Also, another thing is that you can use the intraoral scanner for indirect bonding. So basically, if you print your models, you can help this process. So for people that we are into ortho, we will have a special edition of the course for orthodontists with digital dentistry. So if this virus stops, probably at the end of the year, we are going to announce this course. And also what we have is digital splint. And this is something that we do for most of our when we have full mouth rehabs case to show. So if you stay with us, I will show you with the full digital workflow. Of course, surgical guides, that is very easy right now. You just scan the patient and send to the planning center. We have a login in our city that everybody's sending these cases, and they get their printed surgical guides. Now, let's talk a little bit about what laptop or what computer you need for the full digital workflow. Basically, I choose to work with Medit scanner and with Dell Alienware computer, Dell Alienware laptop, actually. Why I chose this? Because I wanted to be able and to have the freedom to move from one room to another room using only one intraoral scanner if I cannot afford to buy two, and to have something that is super fast and super, it's not laggy, it's not going to give me a blue screen and so on. Dell Alienware, it's optimized for very large data, to process very large data, and it has very good graphic cards. So basically from here you have to start and go a little bit higher then. So NVIDIA GTX 1070, it's an older model, maybe you can still find it in the shops, but if not, just go for the latest models. They will always provide you all you need, not only for face scanning, for intraoral scanning, not only for exocad, but for all the applications that you have in your dental office. They are really crazy good computers. Now, this is another tool that I use in my office, because when I'm scanning a patient, I know I'm a dental technician, but I get some patients from my dentist, and they say, can you please scan the patient for me? And then I need to use these Googles, because they will project exactly what's on the screen of the laptop in front of me while scanning the patient. So I see the screen, I see the patient in the same time, so I don't have to defocus my eyes and then turn around and look at the screen of the computer to see if I scanned or not good. And that's why I'm using those. Anyway, remember, these are about 800 euros everywhere on Amazon. Yeah. And if somebody puts a sticker on them and says dental, then it will cost more than 2,000. So make sure that you make the right choice. Then I'm also using the MedCart, the one I developed and I designed, because I wanted to have a mobile table that I can take through the rooms, and that can fit my laptop, which is a pretty big one, to fit the intraoral scanner and to fit the face scanner. So basically, something that is very stable and you can move it around without having any risk to drop your equipment down on the floor. Okay, next step. If you buy an intraoral scanner, will not make you smarter or better dentist. If you were bad at taking analog impressions, you will be bad at taking digital impressions too. So basically, I'm a dental technician. When I get an impression from my dentist, I'm expecting to see the margins. Yeah, of course, good quality prep, but more important than that is to have visible margin. And highly recommending for you guys to use the retraction cord before starting the prep, so your gum goes a little bit lower, and then when you finish prepping to the gum level, use the DMG retraction paste about 4 minutes and then clean. Then you will get very, very accurate impressions. Also, to keep the cheeks away, because I'm an easy guy, I want to have everything very easy and simplify everything, I'm using the Optragate. It keeps lips and cheeks away, and then if the patient has pretty naughty tongue and I have to remove that tongue somehow, keep it away, then I'm using the ScanMate. So basically these toys I have in the drawer where I have my intraoral scanner, and they never miss in any situation. I have it for every single patient. And now comes the change into digital dentistry. This was the missing link. This was something that everybody needs to know about it. And I was pushed a long time ago by the friends from Ivoclar, Milos, please go digital, you have to talk digital, you have to do digital dentistry, and blah. I was like, stop right here, because we don't have the ingredients of the recipe. We cannot cook something if we don't have all the ingredients. So basically, I was waiting and researching and trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, since one day somebody came and said, can you introduce and integrate the face scanner into the digital workflow? I was like, I don't have a face scanner. Oh, don't worry, we sent you one. And somebody sent to me one, and I was like, okay, you introduce it, but you are not very accurate with the position of the maxilla in the patient face. So what do we do then? I don't know, find out something. I was not that smart. Then I met this guy from AFT, Daniel Martin Reina, and he actually came with the final solution. And then I said, yes, this was the, sorry. Yes, this was the missing link. So I put everything together, and now we have the full digital workflow. Basically, this face scanner is not just a face scanner. It will not provide you only the face of the patient that you can basically document instead of doing pictures, but it will also give you the position, accurate position of the maxilla in the patient face. and you can have your virtual patient. You will have a patient that you can rotate from every angle you want, and you will see in the next slides. Also, what is the main feature is that with Exocad software, you can actually measure the Bennett angles, and you can program your virtual articulator not only to give you the facially guided restoration, but also to give you the functional restorations. And I will try to be more explicit with this, with some short videos that I will show you in my lecture. Then we have the jaw tracking systems, which are interesting, but still very expensive for normal dentists, at least in Eastern Europe. Not too many could afford that. And I didn't see any advantage of using them compared to the face scanner, the way I'm using, and the intraoral scanner. So basically, I went as predictable as I could, and I never had any failures till now, hopefully. So I stay with my face scanner and intraoral scanner for now. Autodesk Mesh Mixer, it's another open source app that you can actually use in dentistry. And this app particularly we use to open the bite for our patients, especially when we want to do digital splints for our patients. We open step by step the bite, and we check the CBCT if we don't do the translation of the condyles. That's why we need the full CBCT, not partial CBCTs. And this we don't use only for full mouth rehabs. We use it also when we have implant restorations, full mouth based on implants. So this let us play very safe. As I told you already, I'm using the Exocad software. This is the one that allows me to create amazing smiles, full contour cases with a lot of libraries to choose from, allows me to integrate my virtual patient into the workflow, basically not only the intraoral impression, but also the face of the patient and the CBCT and everything integrated with the virtual articulator to make sure that it's also functional, not only aesthetic. Now you remember in the beginning, I was saying that I like to use Exocad WebView for communication, and this is one of my favorite tools. And this is the reason why, because let's say in the morning, the dental assistant or the dentist send me the intraoral impression and the face scan of the patient, and later that day, about 3 to 4 hours, they get the preview of the final design. So basically, even if they are not in the office and they have their mobile phone or their tablet with them, they can check out on Exocad WebView. It's a free app. You can download it from the App Store anytime, and you can check how the project looks like. You can play with the layers. You can make the skin more translucent, transparent actually, and you can see the CBCT. Or you can remove the CBCT layer and leave only the intraoral impression, or only remove the, I don't know, the new design layer, just make it more transparent so you can check how long the technician went on top of the natural teeth. So it has a lot of possibilities, and I love to use it for every single case I do with my dentist. By the way, the dentists I work with, they all have a face scanner and an intraoral scanner just to make sure that everything works flawless. And that's the way I work. I'd never accept impression from a dentist if he doesn't give me the full kit, intraoral and face scan. Now, another tool for communication is the Smile Cloud, and I will let you watch this video. It's made by Florin Kofar and his team. Amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you our future. Our future. Our future. Our future. Please hold the applause to the end of the ceremony. Let's go. Finally, it's you and me. Here shaking like a tambourine. We in this finally. Both sides of the cemetery. Try to catch up. We are here. Let me introduce to you. Try to catch up. We are here. Got future here. Future hit. Now it feels like victory, but to live another fantasy. Every Everybody clap with me. We're about to make history. Come on, attention people, y'all get ready. This is for everybody. Try to catch up. We out here. Let me introduce to you. Try to catch up. We out here. Use your head. Are you ready? Do you believe in magic? Here it's automatic. La, ooh. Amazing how it's happening. Look at how we made it. La, ooh. Our future. Our future. Our future. Our future. Our future. Our future. Are you ready?
So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would really highly recommend you guys to go and check the smilecloud.com. You will see endless possibilities over there to use your intraoral scanner with this workflow and so on. The next thing, I want to introduce you the chairside printer, the one I'm using, and I can tell you that I did some crazy things, live courses with live patients, and it never failed on me. So I will try to explain a little bit later what we actually did when I will show you the cases. And this is my printer from the lab, which I highly recommend to every lab on this planet. So why I choose this printer, it is simple because it's extremely fast and very accurate. And this was the first printer plant that was to provide me this case in just a few minutes. First of all, I told you, one is to print the motivational mock-up. So this one, basically, if the dentist sent to me the face scanner and the intraoral scanner of the patient, I send them back the STL files of the veneers, and then he can print the motivation. This is like the one you see here. And then the second type of mock-up is that we print in the lab, and that's the fixed moves that print. And on this one, you can create a classic and create the true mock-up or guide mock-up. They use it in many different ways. And you need to look other by one printed. Remember, it's not a stacked print. It's not all together. It's one by one, individual, and it's on a non-prep teeth. So this is basically the first meeting that the patient will have with the dentist after the intraoral scanning. And he will get a motivational mock-up so he can check how his future smile will look like. And look at the fit on the model. It looks absolutely amazing. And then also in the mouth, it looks like a real veneer. So this is something that patient will accept much easier. And you will see during the cases how everything is repeating again and again. Then Exocad software for implants, for planning the implants, Exoplan, it's still available for dentists that want to plan their cases for implants. Then Exocad chairside software. If you have the chairside mill, I highly recommend you the chairside CAD from Exocad. You can create a design for your crowns and veneers if you want to skip the lab technicians. And it's a very compact milling machine in 5 axes. We use it in a real patient in live course, and we had excellent results by milling the emperors. Also, what I like about ProgramMill 1, that it's very accurate. and it can mill my favorite materials like Emax or Empress card, and very soon, hopefully, the Empress Multi, which is not available yet. And it's very easy to control directly from the tablet or from your phone. You have to download the software that you can find it on the App Store, and then you can connect it directly with the milling machine. Of course, for the glaze, you can have different options. And for laboratory milling machines, a lot of options. For example, I have the older version of the PM7 with a disc changer. The latest one is definitely much better, but if you don't have a big lab, I would highly recommend you to go for a smaller milling machine, PM3, PM5, or similar. From the material perspective, when I use the milling machines, usually I use them for dry milling, and I like to use different zirconia. For example, I use Zircat Prime for super aesthetic restoration, and the same also I use SageMax. Next, Zirconia Plus Multi. Why I use these two zirconia is because they are high quality. I don't want to put my name on any kind of zirconia that it's not top level. And about the features that are unique for Emax Zircat Prime, that it starts from 1,200 megapascals and goes all the way to 650 on the occlusal part, so you can have a very good quality restoration, more natural, let's say. And SageMax next Zirconia Plus Multi, which gives you an amazing transition between the layers. And as you can see in the picture, you can create full contour restorations without even one drop of layering. So I love these two materials. To sinter, I have this furnace, the S1 1600, which is highly recommended because it's extremely fast. You can have your zirconia crowns and copings like super fast, 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. So it's like very, very fast. Let's start with the most important part of the full digital workflow. We have the toys and equipment. We know what we can use, but how to implement it into daily workflow. So for example, this case came just when we got our PrograMill PM1 few weeks ago. And this is the initial situation of the patient. And his desire was to have some nice veneers and to look more masculine because his teeth were very small. We did the intraoral scan for this patient. We did the face scan for this patient and scan body mouth, which is actually the key of success because this one is the one that gives us the transfer position of the maxilla into the patient head. And then, of course, we use Exocad to design the provisionals. We use the chairside printer Asiga, and this was the final outcome, only for 6 veneers. We just wanted to see how it will look. And of course, then we went to the next step, and we went through the prep session. So we did the classical mock-up, and we did the prep through. We had to remove the older composites that he had, and then, of course, did the final intraoral scan, and now we are waiting for the patient to come back and to do the final photos. But from the planning point of view, this is a success, and the patient accepted to go for the next step. Yeah, here we had the milled Empress, and then we are looking for the final pictures very soon. Another very dear case of mine that I really enjoy to do it is this young teacher from high school around my training center, and she came to us to get a new smile. So take a look at the video. Okay, so let's start with the beginning. This was the initial situation where she had old crowns with composite, acrylic, whatever it was there, and a lot of metal. And of course, the face scanner and integration into the virtual articulator. In this case, we designed a full arch, and we went for the classical printed model, full printed model, and then we did the silicone key, and we went for a classic mock-up. So here you can see different angles of our restorations and the functional movements. And here you can see the mock-up, how it looks from the close-up perspective and how it looks from the headshot portrait perspective. So in this case, we use this mock-up also as a surgical guide for the gums. So we have to do something with those gums, because no matter the design be and how nice it will look, if it's uneven look, I had to fix this thing. Now let's go for another one for the planning. This is a very famous case. Okay, so this is one of my favorite cases, was published in Dental Dialogue magazine. And today, if you send me your emails, I will be able to send you the link to download this article. So don't forget to send me on my Facebook or Instagram or on my WhatsApp your emails, and I will send it right away. Now, this is the initial situation of this case. And I told you in the beginning that the Shera printer did something that nobody did for me before. I tried with different printers, with different materials, and I couldn't succeed to create a case like this. First of all, I want to tell you that this patient was sent to me by a dentist and told me, just take a look at the patient, let me know if we can do any kind of veneers for the lady. She wants only to close these gaps and to make them more expressive and so on. And I was like, okay, send the patient to me. The patient comes, I look at the patient and I see she looks fine. I mean, her smile is perfect. She's 27 years old only, mother of 3 kids. And I told her, we don't need to do anything to this smile. No, I want something to change. Okay, let's try. So I said, I want to make this a challenge. I want this to be very difficult for me. I want to make only 6 veneers. Usually I do 8 or 10, just to fill the buccal corridor and to make everything look very nice and ideal, let's say. In this case, I wanted to make only 6 super thin non-prep veneers without the help of the dentist. So what I did in this case, I take the face scan, the intraoral scan, I did the mock-up for her, and you will see here. These are the face scans I take for every single patient. So scan number 1, where the patient has both scan body head and scan body mouth. Scan number 2 with the mouth closed. Scan number 3 with the mouth slightly open, and scan number 4 with a big smile. Then scan number 5, which is with the scan body mouth, this one. And if you will join my online course on DentalProMaster.com, you will be able to see how I do actually an entire patient from A to Z using this protocol. And here you can see intraoral impression, first video, second one, integrated intraoral impression into the face scan, and video number 3, the new design, and video number 4, functional design, not only aesthetic. So integrated with virtual articulator, which was programmed with the actual values of the patient, not with any kind of standard values. Then, and here I want you to watch closely and carefully, because this is what the scan body is doing extra than any other competition face scanner. Basically, AFT face scan was the first in the world to implement this as a workflow, and it was the first scanner to offer you this kind of scan body that you can transfer the position very accurately into the patient head. So that's how we get our virtual patient. We scan only the vestibular part of the scan body and the upper part of the impression, like you see it here. And then when I rotate the impression from negative, I get the positive. And then I can choose the symmetrical points. So basically, I choose the same points on both objects. Then I mesh the objects together. That means that I introduce the intraoral scan into the scan body. And then on the right side, just a few seconds, okay, now you see it's meshed together, highly accurate. And then I take now you look on the right side, now I take the scan body mouth, the one I already meshed together with the intraoral impression, and I mesh it together with my face scan. In this way, I will introduce the intraoral impression into the patient mouth. Take a look on the right screen. Don't look on the left one anymore. And we'll wait a few seconds. Usually we choose between 8 and 12 points. In this way, we are sure that it's going to be very good match. Yeah. And what I like about these scan bodies is that they are not straight, they are curved. In this way, the face is curved, the scan body is curved. In this way, we have a perfect match. It's 3D data that has to be matched, not 2D data. That's why we don't use straight scan bodies. Hopefully, you understood what I was saying. And then here we have the printed veneers that I prepared for this lady. In the same day when she came here, I asked her to wait a little bit. We just did the face scan, intraoral scan, the design, and then I take the veneers one by one. I put into her mouth, of course, using gloves, even at that time. And this was the result. I make some pictures in my studio and I showed to her on the big screen, and she was like, wow, I want them. I really want them. So this was a little bit too big, too bulky for me, because it was printed to 0.4 millimeters, 0.5 millimeters. And I said, it looks nice, but it needs to be even thinner than 0.4, 0.5. So the final veneers that I have to make, they have to be 0.1 in the cervical area and 0.3 in the thickest part. And of course, I wanted to do it by myself without the help of the dentist. So what I did, I take my intraoral scan that I took, and I printed this model with the help of the Shera team. They helped me print it in Germany at that time because it was the new material, smoky white. And we printed the Geller model. So we removed the printed dies outside, and they duplicated the printed dies with Shera refractory material. I tried with different materials. I tried in my lab with different printers. It never worked. But with Shera refractory material, the fit of the dies back in the printed model was amazing. And then I said, yes, this is what I want to do. I want to do classic refractory veneers on a digital impression, face scan, printed model, and so on. So everything was digital till the end. And this is what I got. I got very thin veneers. I was using style ceramic from Ivoclar, the one for metal ceramic. And the thickness in the cervical area, 0.1. The thickness in the thickest part was 0.3. And of course, I was doing pictures, and then suddenly I dropped the veneers on the floor and they break. And look the result. Broken veneers on printed dies, and the fit is absolutely amazing. The fit was absolutely amazing. Also, the trying, because I had to redo the veneers again. By the way, I was using here only Opal Effect 3, nothing else. Opal Effect 3. And a little bit of halo for the incisal edge. So only one powder to create these restorations. Of course, some natural design. And this is final result in the mouth after the cementation, 3 days after cementation. So you can see how they look. And can you imagine the surprise of the dentist when I told the dentist, please, can you come cement some veneers? And he was like, which kind of veneers? Because I didn't send you any case. And I was like, you send me a lady to see if we can do veneers, and I finished the veneers, so please come and cement them. And he was surprised. He came here, he cemented the veneers, and he couldn't believe it, that the accuracy, contact points, precision, everything was amazing. So he really enjoyed this case, even if he didn't do too much, only cemented. So basically this article, I will send it to you. If you send it, send me your emails. So don't forget that. And here we have some final pictures of this lady with 6 anterior veneers and how they integrated very nice in her beautiful smile. Now, another case very similar to this one I did for Swedish Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry in Stockholm a few months ago before Corona. And here, the president of this association asked me to do a live patient course showing the full digital workflow. We did only 1 day course, and in this day we did face scanning of the patient, scan body scan, and of course intraoral scans. That's how we documented the case. Of course, we did the same technique, the same printed model with refractory dies, and again printed veneers, because we needed to see how it looks in the mouth. And here you can see before and after. Yeah, and that's what the patient got in the end with the mock-up, with the motivational mock-up. We printed veneers one by one. And here you can see the final veneers, the same material style from Ivoclar. These are the boxes that we deliver to the dentist. They are membrane boxes that veneers are very safe inside. And the printed models, of course. And the final restoration. Again, only with perfect planning from A to Z, using full digital workflow. And then to finalize a case is just a joke. I mean, everybody can do that. And I'm not talking here about this technique. I'm talking about full contour techniques when you have milled veneers and you don't need to layer and so on. And this is this kind of case. This is a case that we did 1 year ago with Dr. Jan Kurz Hoffman, and this patient is my assistant. We used here Empress Multi, Bleach 3. We documented the case with the intraoral impression with Medit i500, and this is how it looks. The quality and details, absolutely amazing. The same, we documented the case because I wanted to publish this case in an article in the magazine. So I did also the photos. Here I used studio lights and I dried the gum. So make sure that when you take intraoral photos and you want to have top quality, please dry the gums and use studio lights or big diffuse in front of the twin flash. And then here we have 4 face scans and scan body mouth. So remember, always 5 elements. Here we have the printed veneers, one by one again. And here we have the result. So this is the motivational mock-up using the B1 printed mock-up, printed veneers one by one. And we use some glycerin gel and we place it in the mouth of the patient, and we take these photos to show the patient, and then he will accept to go for the next step. Next step was to do a full mock-up using the silicon key, the classic mock-up. In this case, we wanted to use the mock-up as a surgical guide for the gum because we wanted to the gum levels of the patient, and also to use it as a prep through. So basically, and have control, and he will not have to remove more than necessary. So we talk here about minimum invasive dentistry or prep-less dentistry or non-prep dentistry. And here with the surgery for the patient, we use the electrocauter, and we use that mock-up as a guide. And then we align the gum levels. Of course, here you can see the final restoration using the STB. And this is how the patient looks like. Of course, this kind of photos I do a lot to motivate other patients or scientists around the world, or to use marketing to get more work different than, or to impress them situations that photography. Yeah, and this is when teaching in dental photography courses how you can get these kind of shots. Good. We are getting close to the best part of the lecture, where we are talking about all-on-6 digital. Of course, it's possible. How we did this case? Very easy. We started with very careful planning. So we did a surgical guide. Dr. Vlad Tudoriciu from Dentaviz, Romania, he got our files and he started to do the surgical guide for us. He sent us for approval. Everything seems to be perfect. He printed the surgical guide for us at that time and sent to us. This case was done 1.5 years ago. At that time, I asked the dentist to come here to my training center and to remove the healing abutments and to put the scan bodies. And in this case, I asked him not to remove the teeth. Only later I will remove them in software, virtual extraction, let's say. And that way we can keep the papilla in a good shape and make sure that everything runs smoothly. So I take the impression myself. Here you can model. We used here the Shera printer, and we printed also the soft silicone, the red one as the silicone gums. Yeah, and also on the right side you can see the verification jig. Time we had printed. When you do all on print, it's okay, but if it's all on 4, you have to do sinter metal, because then you will have more flexibility if you print it from resin. On all on 4 are bigger spaces between the implants, and then you need something more stable. And we checked if the impression was good. So basically, I sent the verification jig and the provisionals to my dentist, and he did the trying in less than 5 minutes with both of them. So basically, he checked with the verification jig, impression was good. He checked with the final provisional that was milled, and he left the patient to go home with that one. And he came back after a few months, and then we finalized the case. We are still waiting for the patient to come for the final pictures, but there are many different ways to finalize this kind of restorations. You have option to do metal with zirconia, you have option to do pecton with Emax, or you have option to do full contour zirconia. In our case, we did full contour zirconia for this upper arch for this patient, and right now we are working on the lower part. Here you can see also how our patient looks like from the virtual point of view. Basically, we have soft tissue, we have hard tissue, we have intraoral impressions, CBCT, face, and all the possible aspects that we can use to help us create a predictable smile from every point of view. Yeah, you can see here different views of the same patient. And this is really a very old case that we got. Then we have another one. One of my favorites, full mouth rehab. In the had already a splint, so he was wearing it between 3 to 5 months. We just wanted to make sure that we don't harm the TMJ. And we use this splint also to take the bite, the digital bite of the patient, and we get this. How do you think we got this, the bite? the increased vertical dimension of occlusion using that patient with for the CBCT. And then we increase the vertical dimension using that CBCT because the splint is very steady, it's stable, and the patient is feeling comfortable using that splint after 5 months, 3 months, 4 months, and so on. So we get that bite, and we use the CBCT to transfer as a mesh to the intraoral impression, and that's how we got our increased vertical dimension. And then, of course, the classical steps using the scan body to transfer the CBCT and the intraoral impression into the virtual face of the patient. So you can see here in this video how our virtual patients like. Of course, the design, we send extracard web view, he can check from A to Z all the aspects of this patient, like you see here in this video. Of course, here we have to remove the last molar. It has to go for an extraction because he was damaged. And then we didn't have any trouble in lateral movements or in the functional movements with this case. And we designed full mouth up and down. We increase the vertical dimension a lot. We make sure that we look at the condyles in the CBCT, that we don't do the translation of the condyles. And in this way, we give the patient a safe restoration that he can wear in the next few months. Here is the before and after with the mock-up. And this is how we changed his smile for the first trying. We use this mock-up only as a surgical guide for the gums and to make sure that he feels comfortable for 1 week. After the surgery was done on the gums, we created a second mock-up. This time we prepped the teeth and we did the mock-up for him, and he's still wearing that. And hopefully after coronavirus, he will come for the final rehab. And now another case, and this is the most recent one that we did just a couple of weeks ago with Dr. Jan Kurz-Hoffmann, and I will show you the video. Okay, so here we go. Beginning of the case. Initial situation, pretty much not exposing her teeth, lost the support for the lip, and of course, damaged structure of the enamel. So this was not a very easy case to approach in just 3 days in a live patient course. So we had many things to fix in these 3 days. Not only create some veneers that maybe they will stay or not in the mouth after a few weeks. So we had to be careful, and Dr. Jan Kurz-Hoffmann said, Milos, we need to make palatal veneers for the upper 6, and we have to do the occlusal tabletops for the posteriors. And that's what we did. Here you see the initial situation with the intraoral scan and the face scan, of course, again, the same stuff. And here you can see the design that we did for the palatal veneers. And what we did with those, we exported as STL file to the chairside printer, and we printed the full models to be able to create the transparent silicone keys using the Anax Dent silicone. And we created the final veneers using the flowable injection technique with composites. So here we used some of the Ivoclar composites to create those final veneers and final tabletops, and we increased the vertical dimension of the patient. Yeah, we made sure that it's a stable, functional occlusion because she didn't have that before. Everything was turned down and damaged. And you can see here that we used the virtual articulator. We increased 2 millimeters in this case, and we made sure that it's functional. So again, to increase 2 millimeters, we had to do 6 anterior palatal veneers and occlusal tabletops for the posterior, for the lowers. Yeah. Once we did that, and we were like pretty super fast in doing this, I mean, Jan was sweating all over, then only we proceeded to create the veneers. And here you can see the printed veneers, the motivational veneers that we are going to use. And this is the very same model I have here in front of me, and I will show it to you also in the picture. You'll see it in the picture. Look at the feet. These teeth were not prepped. They were untouched. And then we created the motivational mock-up on non-prepped teeth. And that's how they look on the model. And that's how they look in the mouth. So basically, this is what we show to the patient. And not only this, because they don't really care too much about the intraoral situation, but we show them this. And this before, and this after. So you see how much improved her smile. Look at the lip. We got lip support, and we got a very nice smile line, smile curve. Look. And of course, some close-ups just to motivate her and to make sure that she will accept the treatment plan and to go the next step. Here we saw our mistakes. Of course, we are always using the motivational mock-up to see our mistakes, and we saw that in the quadrant 1, the canine and the premolar were too long, so we had to fix that for the final restoration. Here you can see the preps, if you can call them this way. It's like 0.1, 0.2 millimeter preps, minimum invasive. Dr. Jan Kurtzhofer is amazing in doing this kind of preps. And of course, the final restoration with full contour Empress multi-bond this time, not 3. We want to have a more natural restoration. And thickness on the cervical area, we reached 0.2, 0.3 millimeters. And 0.7 in the thickest part. We were using Programil 1 to mill those veneers. And here it's when the cementing day. On the 3rd day of the course, we were using the Variolink aesthetic, dual curing adhesive cementation. Of course, we always stay in enamel. That's why we love the minimum invasive dentistry. And the final restorations, how they look in the trying phase here. Yeah, this is the trying phase. And these are just some pictures with the try-in phase. And as you can see, full smile, lip support, and so on. All these cases were done in our laboratory, and I really have to thank Miguel Stanley for the trust and for his knowledge and about his support that he gave to me. And I want to say that we are one of the first, we are actually number 1 and the first lab certified slow dentistry in the world. And this is just the beginning, because all the labs that work predictable and very accurate, they can go for this certification. And if they work as I do with full digital workflow, they are possible candidates to get slow dentistry badge and certification. And if you want to know more information about myself, you can go and check out my website, DentalProMaster.com.